I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Hey y'all, this is Ryan Monso, and this is Talking About Them Cougars live. That's Brad Towns. Brad played baseball at one point or another for the University of Houston. He was a dynamite on Tuesdays.
And a dynamite.
Dynamite on Tuesdays. Yep. English not going well today.
Hey, you know what? It's cold and we're not used to that, so it's it affects the jaws, especially when you got really fat ones.
We're going to be joined by Austin Armstrong very shortly. Austin's the new defensive coordinator at the University of Houston. After him, we'll be joined by Galen Robinson and Quannas White. Pretty excited. The Quannas White. We're going to talk to Austin about giving him a nickname. Something I just really want to get into. I don't even want to ask him football questions. Just talk nicknames and such. Brad, I want you to keep us up to date on the comments. But before we get to all that, Star Pizza, what are you doing with your life? Look, all day Tuesday, you're not going to have access to food on the outside. It's just not going to be there. So you need to order it tomorrow.
It's going to be like in Fallout. Everybody's got to be in their vaults. Nobody's allowed outdoors. We're all gonna die. So
is that a movie?
Well, it's a video game first, and then it's turned into a TV show.
Okay, so
really good
I had
TV
no
show
clue.
too. As far as video game adaptations go, one of the best.
Okay, you're gonna have no access to the outside world, to food. Go get your Star Pizza tomorrow. Have it delivered. Stock up. Pastas, pizzas, desserts. Get all the cupcakes before your buddy Brad Towns takes them. Make sure to do that. Star Pizza. Max Smith knows where it's at. Okay.
No, yet. See, the good thing about pizza, it's great the second day, especially Star Pizza. It's phenomenal the second day. You know, I learned a trick on the artist formerly known as TikTok. Although I think it's it's been resurrected. Saw that people put a pizza slice on a pan and then put some water on the pan and then covered it, and it's supposed to make it like it's just fresh again. But I don't know. I find I don't really care if it's fresh. I like the day after. I'd like the day after when it can all mix together. And same thing goes with pasta. You know, and Star Pizza, if you're patient enough to do it the second and have it for the second day, you're golden because it's fantastic.
I've never been more excited to welcome a guest than I am right now listening to you. Welcome Austin Armstrong, new defensive coordinator at the University of Houston. Austin, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming, Coach. We appreciate it.
It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, and I assume that photo is not from your house. So you're still in the office.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, my wife's not here yet, so I've spent the weekend up here getting ready for some stuff and catching up. When you change jobs, you gotta catch up, not just from a football standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, a personnel standpoint. So I've been up here all day and watching the games and working. So
okay, well, let's start with that. You've been around about 5-6 weeks. What do you know about Houston that you didn't know then?
Well, one, it's a privilege to be here, and I'm really grateful to Coach Fritz and Athletic Director Nunez for the opportunity. I'd really never been to Houston. I was in a wedding in Conroe a couple of years ago, but just haven't spent much time. I've really been in the Southeast my whole life from my personal standpoint and a coaching standpoint. So, I guess I'm 30 years too late to move to Texas, so I finally got here. And, I've really enjoyed it so far. I love the diversity of the city. It's such a nice place to live. The university's first class, and Tiffany and I, my wife, are excited about being here.
Restaurants, have you found any you like?
Yeah. So I'm a big Papados guy. So I like Papados, and the Papa's Brothers kind of chain of restaurants, and we went to a handful of other ones. I think Jonathan's on the Rub. That's a good spot, and everywhere has been good so far. So it hasn't been disappointing.
Okay, so
you never run out of options. Trust me, I know.
That's one fat guy telling you exactly what's happening. So you said you're getting to know personnel. What are you learning about the guys coming back, and has anyone stuck out?
Well, we've been out on the road recruiting, so really that's kind of the unique thing about college football is you get blessed with one of these opportunities to coach at somewhere like Houston, and as soon as you get here, you're straight into pro recruiting, and then you get a little break, and then you get into high school recruiting. So, obviously, I think the defensive staff and Coach Fritz and Coach Wood did a phenomenal job last year. I think finishing second in the conference in defense, and you do that with good players and good coaching as well. So. What I've tried to do when we're in the office, and I'm not all the way done yet, is I try to meet with every defensive player in our organization one-on-one and just kind of get to know them. I think three things that are really important are trust, respect, and communication, and in any relationship, not just in coaching, but especially in coaching. And all three of those things just don't happen overnight. And trying to, start the relationship piece and the trust and respect thing out by, talking to them about everything outside of football. Getting to know them, because I chose them, they didn't choose me. So I've got to earn those things from them from a trust and respect standpoint. And we've slowly been doing that. So I've got about 20 more guys to do. So, being around as much as I can, but let's be on the road. I really haven't got to lay eyes on guys very much, but I think we're about halfway through the defensive roster right now. So hopefully, by the time we're back in February, we'll be able to sit down with each individual player from a personal standpoint.
Okay. Brad?
You say you're out on the road right now. Is most of your travels in and around the Houston area, and pretty much everything by car? And how nice is that compared to being in the in different areas in the Southeast?
Yeah. So far, the 2 weeks we've been out, we've been out in the Houston area. Where the best high school football is played in the country and the best coaching in the country. So, being in such close proximity to that, that's been very convenient for us. So we'll be in some other areas over the next coming weeks, but that's been great. And each place has been different, right? When, we were at Southern Miss, that was a regional recruiting operation. Everything we've been fortunate to coach in places there are a lot of good football players around. And, at Southern Miss, from a 3 to 5 hour radius, we were recruiting the players we were recruiting. And then I was at Florida, a very similar deal. But, when you're in a national brand like Florida, and a national brand like Houston, you national recruit at some point. So was able to do that as well. So most of our routes are in the southeast of Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, North Florida, Louisiana. And now the opportunity to get into Texas is a great deal for us.
So since you've been able to burn a lot of midnight oil there in the office, and you've obviously watched a lot of our film from the previous year, what stands out to you the most of what you see on film from last year that's coming back that has you excited for going forward this year?
Well, to be honest with you, Brad, I really haven't spent a lot of time watching, the previous stuff because, we're very fortunate to have a great defensive staff that's all returning. And, I listen to those guys talk about their players, listen to Coach Fritz, listen to Wes Fritz talk about our guys. And the reason I haven't done that is I want to make my own judgments on the players. I want to watch them work. I want to watch them compete. I want to watch them go through our off-season program and then go through when we start football school and spring practice and develop our opinion. Now, some of these guys we've watched because we've added players in the transfer portal. The thing I'm excited about is, Coach Fritz has got such a history of playing really good defense, and, not only playing really good defense, but running a program where you run the football on offense, you control the ball, and you play great in the kicking game, which allows you to be really good on defense and play total team football. And that was a big part of our decision of coming here, was to be able to be a part of that. So I'm excited to get on the grass with them, the little bit that we're able to in February, and put our eyes on guys and watch their makeup and continue to develop relationships with them.
You mentioned that.
What about the staff? Hang on, Brad, go ahead.
No, we were going in the same place. You were talking about that a lot of the staff was already in place. How does that transition, how does it make it easier for you? Is it easier for you?
Yeah, in some ways, certainly, because these guys are the ones that did the work. They're the ones that put the product on the field last year that was a successful defense, in this conference, and then the relationship piece with their players with so many returners coming back. So I can't tell you how excited I am to work with all these guys. Obviously Oscar Giles, a great career he's had thus far and a tremendous amount of wisdom, coached a lot of really good players, and then, James Ross, really excited to work with him. His flexibility in the front, of not only be able to coach the edges, but be able to help coach the linebackers with us in a multiple system. Josh Christian Young coaching our safeties, is a really intelligent guy that's been really successful with different coordinators. And then Zach Etheridge coaching our corner. Zach and I had a previous relationship. We worked together at Louisiana Lafayette about 6 or 7 years ago. So I can't explain how excited I am to work with them and implement our system with them on top of the work that they've already done here, developing a reputation as one of the better defenses in the Big 12.
I have a question about the new Football Operations Center. Have you gotten to tour that? What do you know about it? And how did you use that with guys in the portal, recruiting them here?
Yeah, we've been able to go over there, and, when it's completed, whenever it's done this summer, I think the University of Houston, our facility will be second to none of anybody in the country. And the entire setup over there with the indoor, the practice facility, the game facility. I mean, we're very blessed here to have one of the top, we're going to have one of the top facilities in college football and the best football state in the country and one of the best football cities in the country, and then have one of the best football coaches in the country with Coach Fritz. So it's going to sell itself. I don't think I'm going to have to say very much. We came to Houston with the same goals that Coach Fritz had, and that's to be a team that's here to maximize what University of Houston can be, build off the tradition that they've had here, and to be one of the top programs in the country.
Did you talk to portal guys about being the first guys in that facility? How do you talk to those guys with it still under construction? Yeah,
you talk about it. I mean, it's going to be one of the better facilities in the country. And one of the better facilities in the state, the country, everything. So certainly you bring that up, but we bring guys here that want to play for Coach Fritz and play for a championship coach at a championship program. So those facilities are expected at a place like this, and I can't commend the university enough for their total commitment to trying to make this the best it can be.
You said at your introductory press conference that the first thing you need to develop with guys is their mindset. What is it that you need to do to start off with these guys to help them build the mindset you're looking for?
Yeah, I think one of the things that, so much gets put into the scheme, which is really important, right? Like you got to have a good scheme that's flexible to your players, the team that you're playing. But, you're sitting here watching even these games today and last night, and I'm sitting here watching the Eagles play. And, Vic Fangio is one of the finest football coaches there is. But the thing that stood out to me about the Eagles was, they were really good at tackling. They attacked the football. They forced takeaways, and they played with relentless effort, right? And, even the game on right now with the Ravens, their tradition of defense, Coach McDermott with the Bills, the job that they do. But every great defense, regardless of the level, plays with relentless effort and physicality. And, we want to be a run and hit operation. Regardless if we're 4 down, we're 3 down, what coverages we play, we'll figure that out. We have enough diversity in our scheme to fit our personnel. We can go do that. But we want to be a defense that when the ball is put down in between the 53 and a third and 100 yards in length, that plays a relentless effort and physicality that creates a nightmare for our opponent about how we play the game. And to put a product out there that represents the University of Houston, the city of Houston, and that all starts with expectations. I'm meeting with these guys right now. One of the first things I tell them is that no one rises to low expectations. And I've got high expectations for myself. I've got high expectations for our coaches, just like Coach Fritz has for us. And I have high expectations for every single player. And, we want to be a group that plays with relentless effort and physicality, that's resilient, that's smart, prepared, and confident, and it attacks. I think great defenses put pressure on the opponent. And when I say that, I don't mean, blitzes or simulated pressures or whatever you want to talk about from a scheme standpoint. But pressure is a team that executes at a high level, that has pre-snap disguise and post-snap execution, that plays with relentless effort in their physical. And that's what we'll talk about, running and hitting. Like I said, your great defense is run and hit, and everything else kind of comes out in the wash.
You talk about confidence. Is that something you feel you need to build in players, or do they just bring it and you shine a light on it?
Yeah, I think that's a complex thing a little bit, right? I think confidence comes from unconditional support. I think that, we've got to develop that trust and respect that we talked about, where they know that someone believes in them. And that starts at their home and the type of player that we're recruiting in the home they come from. That comes from them being prepared, where they can play fast and free. When I say fast and free, I'm not saying, hey, play free and do what you want to do, but playing fast and free inside the framework of the system. And we're going to be a team that's really well prepared, and that starts with our head football coach and in the kicking game. Their kicking game is a reflection of your entire organization, and we have one of the greatest special teams coaches in all of football, and we feel the same way in defense. We're going to prepare them from not only a schematic standpoint, but down and distance and field zone, situational football. And when you're prepared, that's when you can play fast and free, when you can run and hit, and the gifts that the good Lord's given you can go use, because players win them and coaches screw them up. And if we're able to have them prepared where they're doing those things, we're going to get the results that we want. But confidence is an everyday thing. It's making people do hard stuff. It's challenging them in every aspect of the organization to the standard that Coach Fritz sets and the standard that we have here on defense. And it's the consistency of that and being the same person every day, from an attention to detail, a relentless effort, a focus standpoint. And if you do those things and you can do hard things and you fail and you get back off the mat over and over again, and you know that people here care about you, that's where confidence comes from. It's not a one-day thing. It's not a one-week thing. It's a series of work done over and over and over again. That's what creates confidence. And it's the ability to bounce back from failure, right?
Yeah.
This game is full of failure. And the great players, the great coaches, the great teams, look themselves in the mirror of why they failed, and they fix it. And sometimes the fix is hard, and that's where confidence comes from, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your defense has a position called Jack. It's different from the dog that they played last year. Tell us how they differ and what that exactly is.
Yeah, for us, the Jack is our hybrid defensive end, outside linebacker. He plays to the short side of the field majority of the time. The reason we use the term Jack is a jack of all trades, right? Like, he can play four down and play on the edge. He can rush the passer. He can do what we need to do from a run standpoint at a four down. He can drop at a four down. He can cover the back. He can drop to the hash. He can drop to the curl flat. He can play on the edge for us in our 3-4 stuff. He can rush at a 3-4. He can drop at a 3-4. He can cover the back, right? So that's why, we use the term Jack, because he's a jack of all trades. And, that guy for us is a long, twitched up guy that can rush the passer, is adequate in dropping, and do a lot of different things for us.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the guys you brought in from the portal. I kind of just want to know your thoughts on them and why you thought they were the right fit. How about Keontae Scott from Auburn?
Yeah, we had a need in our star position, a lot of people call the nickel, and Keontae's played a bunch of football at different levels. Coach Etheridge and Coach CY did a phenomenal job with him from a recruiting standpoint, and as Coach Etheridge had a previous relationship with him, I think he's a guy that can come here and help our team immediately, with experience, in the highest level of football, and look forward to working with him. He's a great kid. He's smart. On his visit, the thing I admired the most was he was very observant. He soaked it all in. He had some great options on top of Houston, and he chose us, I think, for the right reason. So I'm excited to work with him.
What about Carmicah Glass from ULL?
Yeah, when he became available and, we watched his tape, I had some previous relationships, at ULL still. And, they just raved about him as a person, as a player. We got him here. He comes from a great family there in North Louisiana. And, sat down with him and talked football for about 2 hours. And he could regurgitate it right back to us. I mean, he's a really impressive kid. Obviously, our relationship is ongoing. That's what's unique about the portal stuff is you sign somebody and you really haven't spent a lot of time with them. But everything so far, I've been really impressed with him as a person. He has really good tape, and he's got length, size, speed. He's played. Did a really good job for them this year, and excited to work with him. He's a great kid.
Okay. And give me a second. Sione Fotu from Utah.
Yeah. So Sione, played a lot for Utah over the last couple of years. I think Coach Scally and those guys do a fantastic job on defense, and has some position flexibility. Played kind of in the apex form a little bit. Played inside backer. What a great family he has, and excited about his maturity. He's a guy that's played a pretty decent amount, and look forward to working with him.
When you recruit a guy, is family one of the big things you're looking for?
Yeah, I think that each recruiting instance with the players is different, right? Because everybody has a different story. That's what makes this job really unique, is you get to connect with a lot of different people, background stories, and you get to know those stories. And I think family is a big part of that. I'm someone that was very fortunate to have a good family, a loving mother and father, and who made us work hard and set a great example for us. And I think any time that a player has a great family, is certainly a plus. And what is family, right? Is it just a mom and dad? Is it a grandmother? Is it a coach? Is it a supporter? Each person in our lives have a different variation of family, right? People that love us, support us, that are honest with us, that are there for us. And I think anytime you have someone that comes from that background of hard work, integrity, I think it's a plus, and that's what Coach Fritz looks for here. I think that's what we're building here.
Okay. Brad?
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else? No. Have you been able to find a visor?
Yeah. So my first day, someone brought me a black one, so I'm excited about that. And
okay,
I found someone brought me a white one, man. So I'm excited about that, and I've been wearing it. I walk around campus a pretty decent amount, and when I get a chance in the morning or late in the afternoon when I'm around, and I've been rocking it some, man. I'm excited about it. It's a good looking deal.
Are you a white visor guy like Spurrier, or do you kind of go back and forth depending?
I don't discriminate. I think, the white is a personal favorite of mine. I think white goes with everything, but we've worn black, we've worn white, we've worn blue. If I can get me a red one, I have a white, red, and black one, so I'll have some choices.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Coach. Thanks so much for joining us.
No, thank you guys for taking the time out and having us on, and thank you guys what you do for, our football program, the publicity you guys give our players, and, looking forward to, continue our work here and put a product out there we're all proud of. And, I got to go to the basketball game the other night, and if we can play defense the way that Coach Sampson's basketball teams play, people will be pretty excited about what we're doing, and the effort and toughness, and then the environment that our fans created there, was first class. So if we can play defense the way they play defense, I think we'll be excited around here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Austin.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your time.
All right. He was pretty good.
Pretty good. Am I crazy, or did that sound very, very much like a younger Kirby Smart?
There's some similarities. He worked for him. So, he worked for Saban. He worked for Kirby Smart. He's got quite a background.
I'm impressed. I was getting excited.
Okay. There was a bug-eyed guy that I'm seeing on my screen, and he's just all in my face. There he is, Galen
Happy to see you,
Jr.
Ryan.
I love seeing you, Galen. Let's look at some comments while we're catching up on Coach Armstrong. Welcome. Coach Armstrong saying the right stuff. Excited to see him get to work. Asking about the visor. Appreciate that. I like this guy already. Visor. There's some good thoughts. Galen, did you play today?
We had a game already. We lost.
Well, that I figured. Did you play?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
You know what that means, Ryan?
what's
We watch
that?
Film. We watch film.
You don't get yelled at.
I did everything right. I played perfect.
That's right.
You did wrong.
Okay.
Clap when I should clap. Talk when I should talk. Yes, sir.
Hey, but I guarantee you, my guy's prepared.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes, sir. You what?
All right, Quannas.
What it do?
One of the best to ever do it. Galen Robinson.
Appreciate that, man. Learn from the best. You know what I'm saying? To be the best.
So, Quannas, we're just going to have Galen do impressions of you for the next 20 minutes. It's not even a conversation or an interview. It's just Galen doing Quannas
He's seen that so much.
for 20 minutes.
Oh.
All right, Galen, lead it off, buddy.
So, man, Coach Q, man, it's great to see you. I definitely want to give you your flowers on you being a vital piece of why our program has ascended. I'll never forget when you got hired, you felt that it was paramount for you and I to have a meeting. And I remember it was probably like 6 in the morning, and I think we damn near was probably off. And well, I can look back though. It's like, granted, I didn't agree with it when it happened, but it's like I can look back and be like, you know what, man, this dude came in day one, setting the tone, and he was letting everybody know, like, I'm here to fucking win. Like, so definitely want to give you your flowers on that. But first thing first, I want to ask you.
I appreciate that, Gail.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, what do you feel like your strengths are as a coach?
Well, I think my strengths are as a coach. I think one, just motivating young men like yourself, and then just trying to be as consistent as possible. And coach is where it starts and where it ends, and just trying to follow his footsteps. Whatever he preaches down to the coaching staff, we try to relate to you guys. So I think I try to do my best every single day at doing that. But a credit to guys like yourself, Galen, all the players that have come through the program. All those guys have been high character guys. You guys jumped everything off, man. And so I want to thank you, Rob, Corey, Breon Brady. Shout out Breon.
He has 2 fouls.
All those guys, man, for allowing guys like myself to coach y'all, man. And I love you, G.
Love you too, man. Just to piggyback on that, like, I feel like the greatest strength you can have as a coach is being relatable and knowing what your guys may be going through. And I feel like what makes you a good coach in my eyes is, we had a lot of strong personalities. And like your first year, like we had a lot of strong personalities in that locker room. But one thing about Q is like, Q, I said this on the last show, I was like, you're willing to meet anybody where they at. If you got an attitude, what's up? If you like, it's wherever you're trying to do, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as a man, like I definitely respect that. But it's just like, I just want to know how you go about, like, because I can recall a couple of times, like, me and you may have got into it, you and Coach, like, whatever the case may have been. Like, how do you manage such strong personalities?
Well, I think first and foremost, you got to be yourself, man. And I'm a strong believer in this, Galen. You know, as a player, as a coach, we all have our own individual goals. But what I've tried to do, man, and I mean this with all sincerity, is I try to put you guys' careers before mine. And so I think that's really important. Uh, if any up and coming assistant coach or guys in high school that wanted to one day be an assistant coach, I think that would be the first piece of advice I would give them, is to not so much worry about your career, but worry about the guys that you get the opportunity to teach on a day in and day out basis. And so when you talk about, meeting guys where they at, it's because I care so much
Yeah.
about you guys' career. I mean, look at what you're doing now, man, with your
Yeah.
clothing brand, and still continuing to train. And I think, that was, part of why I would try to meet you wherever you were, right? And all those other guys, man, because I care about you guys' career after you leave Houston, right? So
Well said.
Okay. Quannas, I want to ask you about the recruits coming in, Kingston Flemings and Isaiah Harwell, the guards. Tell me about what you liked about them when you saw them, and then what you've liked about them getting to know them.
first and foremost, like I was just telling Galen, we got high character guys. I mean, I've been blessed to be in a program where Coach Sampson talks about it all the time. If you don't want problems, you don't recruit them. We haven't had a single problem kid in our program in the 8 years I've been there. And so that's where it starts at. Kingston Fleming and Isaiah Harwell come from great families. They have great parents, great siblings, and they love basketball. And so, obviously those kids are highly talented, but they also high character kids, and both of those guys love winning, and that's why they fit our program so well.
Okay. Galen?
So just to piggyback on my previous question, it's like obviously in your career you did a lot of winning, and when you got the job at Houston, did you feel any pressure because you knew where we were trying to go? Did you feel any pressure to achieve success because you had so much of it?
That's a great question, Galen. Absolutely, man. I think, coming into a program, although I played for Coach, as a player, working for him as a coach is a little bit differently, right? And so, when I first got to Houston, he put me in charge of you guys, and so he said,
He absolutely did.
Yeah. And so, I was kind of the new guy on the block, right? And so I had to quickly, learn the terminology, the system. Him being in the NBA for the years he was in the NBA, some things had changed, and so I had to, very quickly learn. But also I had to develop relationships with you guys. You guys didn't know who I was. I'm sure Coach talked about me some, like he does all of his former players. But you answer your question. I did feel pressure, but I think that pressure is what makes you better. It brings the best out of you, and I think you run towards things like that.
Positive fear.
Absolutely.
So it's like this now is the question for the PGs, right? So it's like with me and Deke, I was
I'm
there.
the best. I don't know if that was the question. But.
What? No, I know all them dudes. All them dudes got way more game than me. But it's just more so like.
Well, he's saying that he is better than you. Is I think the point.
Yeah. All of them, Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
Coach just had some outstanding point guards. But go ahead, D. I'm sorry.
So like with me and Deke, he was kind of in a sense able to learn from me and like the mistakes I may have made, and whenever he had the reins, it was like trickle down effect. Marcus, Jamal, they all kind of learn from him, and then so on and so forth. So it's like, how is it different dealing with a guy like Los? Because I do feel like to play point guard for Coach, you have to have like a predecessor. There has to be somebody before you. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So how is it different dealing with Los, with him being such a, with Coach Sam, the PG is the most important guy on the floor. How is it different with him without having kind of an example to lean on?
Man, that's a great question, G. Like you just said, Dejan had a smoother transition because he had you. You had already been in the system, the program for 2 years. You knew what to expect, and in a lot of ways, you helped Dejan, right?
Absolutely.
While he was there. And then after you left, he kind of knew what to expect, because you did a great job. You did a great job of leading the way, right? And so, Los, he didn't have that. And then in a lot of ways, my Los is had it. It's been more difficult for him.
For sure.
And you got to give him a lot of credit. One, because he didn't have a great example like you were, right, for Deke. But he also was following in the footsteps of a guy that All-American Player of the Year. I mean, just was an amazing leader, point guard, all those things. And here comes Milos. He coming from a different program. So he has to learn a new style of offensive schemes and things like that, and how we defend, right? So he has to learn how to dictate and all about coverage call assignments and how we defend, and then he has to go run the show. So my hats off to him, man. He's gotten better and better and better, but it's been a huge challenge. But kudos to him. He's been really receptive to what Coach Sampson has been talking to him about on a daily basis, how he's been coaching him. He coaches his point guards harder than any other position. And so you understand that firsthand.
Absolutely, right? Brother. Absolutely.
But yeah, my hat's off to Milos, man. He's gotten better and better and better. And in yesterday's game, there's no way we don't win that game without him. Five assists, 0 turnovers. I think he has like 80 assists to like 20 turnovers, something like
That's
that.
Hard. That's hard.
He's having a great year, man.
So Q, I got several, but I really want to ask you this one. So it's like when you first got the job, granted we probably didn't make the NCAA tournament since before I was in diapers for real. So like, how would you say your approach changed, or if it has, from whenever you first got there? How it was a bunch of blue collar guys with a whole bunch, like for example, Cole. Like, you got a lot to prove, and with guys who who feel like they're underappreciated and have that extra chip, they're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve because they've been overlooked. So it's like, what I was saying here. How has your approach changed from inheriting that program with those type of guys to now being the coach of a program that if you lose the game, like, we don't expect to lose nothing? Like, can you explain the differences in your mindset or approach, if there is any?
Well, the simplest way I can answer that, man, is no different than when I first came in. Gil, and I wanted, when I look back at it, man, one of my favorite teams, and I hope all the other guys don't get upset with me, but one of my favorite teams was your senior year.
Man, me
That's
too.
One of my favorite teams, man. I love all of our guys, but
man.
I'm honest.
Man.
But my approach, and I thought that was a Final Four team, right? And so my approach hasn't changed from the day I got here to up until now. The players have changed absolutely. Mm-hmm. We're now getting guys that coming out of high school, they're 5 stars, but you guys were 5 stars that you guys developed into 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are really, really, really good, man. You were one of the best point guards, in my opinion, in the country. I mean, you don't get to the tournament unless you have a really, really elite point guard, right?
Mhm.
And the record speaks for itself. Uh, but my approach hasn't changed one bit, man. Whether they're 5 stars or hard hat guys that had to work to show people how good they were, like yourself, like Corey, like Devin Davis, Rob,
Mhm.
all those guys. It hasn't changed one bit because the goal remains the same. And as long as the goal remains the same, man, I think your commitment has to stay the same.
Hey, Galen, I want to ask a question, if that's okay.
Yeah, my bad, big dog.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good. You're killing it. I want to ask about Malik Wilson. Malik has been playing so well and really contributing. What have you seen since he's gotten here that's gotten him to this point?
That's for me, Ryan.
Yes, sir. I don't
Yeah,
care what
yeah,
Galen says. Yeah.
okay. uh, I love all of our guys. I love Malik. He's in one word, selfless. He's selfless, man. And then the other word I would use to describe Malik is dependable. You think
Okay.
back to the games on the road at Cincinnati. You look at the game
Man.
yesterday. Cincinnati was last year, right? He
Mhm.
comes through big, right? There's not many guys across the country that would be in there. I think Malik's in his 6th year. That would stay, especially in this generation with the landscape, how it's changing. That would come off the bench and care more about winning, and I'm just being honest with you, than he does NIL, right?
Yeah.
Malik is a kid that could have went to and transferred to different programs and probably get paid more money. He chose to stay here because he's committed to the program. He loves his teammates, and he just loves being a Cougar, and he wants to win. So, but his development, I mean, look at his shot. His shot has improved. I want to say last year, I think Malik is shooting close to 50% from the three. Now, some people say, well, he hadn't attempted that many. Well, he's attempted the same amount of threes, maybe a little bit more this year, which again speaks to his development, right? But I think in the previous years, he might have been shooting 17% from the 3-point line. So that kid has really worked. We're a program that feasts on player development, and hats off to him as well. He's going to be hard to replace because you don't find too many kids like that just really care about winning.
Absolutely.
What has happened with his shot? Is it something that you have worked to change, or is it just reps?
A ton of reps.
That's cute right there.
Galen can testify to that. Not leaving out the practice. Maybe making 20 in a row. 20.
You led me into my next question. I'm trying to, man, Q, they don't know. They don't know.
It's outwork and work. When I talk about Coach Sampson and how he's a Hall of Fame coach and how consistent he is, and it starts there. He outworks work, but so does these kids. I mean, Galen is a outstanding example of that, and so is Malik. And I can say that about so many kids that have come through our program. And so I work with him, but I got to also give credit to Coach Anthony Goldwire.
Yes.
He's done a really good job with Malik. So hats off to him as well.
Man, I don't think people understand like how many repetitions it takes for you to be able to do something once or twice in a game. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. My junior year, we was playing at TSU versus Tulsa, and I got the ball in the left corner, and the dude sagged off me. I was in front of their bench. He sagged off me so far, and I wanted to shoot it so bad. I was like, you know what? You just move. And I remember my senior year, that whole summer, like I literally shot until like my fingers bled. And I remember it was the night before we were playing Tulsa. in Fertitta, and I remember I had two threes that game, and I hit one that was so deep, and I was just like, and I made it, and I just wanted to just and I was like, man, y'all don't even know how many reps just went into me having the guts to even take that shot. It's like it's a lot of thousands and thousands and thousands of repetitions that go into every shot that you see our players shoot.
Muscle memory, absolutely.
Absolutely.
No one, humbly speaking, no one in the country works as hard as our guards.
For sure.
And our bigs. All our guys work hard.
Hey, can we do a comment real quick? This is a random person says Quannas White, the best recruiter in the country. Jonathan Laredo, never heard of him. Boy, trying to kiss ass is what he's doing. Quannas was known as the team prankster at OU with Coach Sampson. After he would a win, he would call slyly Coach's cell. Does he still prank Coach Sampson?
Not too many people know about that. That may be Miss Sampson, Lauren.
That's Lauren. Let's see who it is.
He's talking. Whoever's asked that question, I made that comment. They're right, but it was after wins.
Yeah.
Never when we lost. But yeah, I would call Coach after we win. We get on the bus, heading to the plane after a road game, and just tell him, man, I got you, baby. That was
I got you, baby. I got you, baby. So Q, I got you, Ryan. You got the question, or
keep going? Go for it.
So one thing I wanted to ask you is, like, granted, I didn't understand this when I was a player, and I'm gonna ask this question, and I'm gonna give you an example because I know that you probably remember.
Yep.
And it's basically one thing that you may have disliked as a player that your coaches made you do that you may not have recognized the benefit then, but then you realize how it was beneficial. And the example that I'll give to you is, I just can never forget after practice, we was in there all day talking about practice until, man, going hard as shit. And it just after practice, you'd be like 10 in a row. And it's just like, we have to make 10 threes in a row as a team. And I just remember, I remember Rod being like, man, why we got to do this shit, man? I want to go home. And it's just like, none of us was feeling it. And it's just like, now I can look back and be like, one, that was a way for us to get extra reps. And two, every shot has pressure. Because when we get to 6, 7, and 8, you don't want to be the guy that missed. So it's like, it's kind of preparing you for the game. And it's like, you never know who's going to be that person that has to take that shot. So now I can sit here and I recognize it way long ago, but it's just like, I didn't realize it whenever you were doing it. So it's like, if you can remember, what is one thing that a coach may have had you and your teammates do that you disagreed with, but then you recognize, like, damn, that made a lot of sense?
Yeah, well, we've all had some really good teachers in our life, whether it's in school, basketball, whatever. But this question is simple, Galen. My assistant coach, I'm gonna give him some credit right now, Benny Seltzer, who was my assistant coach at Oklahoma. He used to do something similar to it. And believe it or not, I was young. I'm getting ready to turn 44 in 2 days.
Damn, cute.
Easy.
I ain't ashamed. Thank God. But he used to do the same thing, Galen. Same thing. Before we could leave, he would make us do something that was dealing with making pressure shots. It wasn't quite the same, but and at that point, because coach hasn't changed. We've always practiced hard.
Absolutely.
Right? And so after practice, you're tired. But man, that's what separates us. You look at just our time here, man. How consistently we've been winning games. You look at the game yesterday where we go 3 for 17 and we still find a way to win. And so, but it's all of that, man. It's all of that. The things that you don't want to do, but you need to do. That's what makes us all better.
Facts.
That was a good question, Galen. It took a while to, ask, but it was a good question.
Hey man, it's
Great question.
I just know that Q like, man, we used to hate that shit, boy. Man,
guys would be on the wall.
Man, I'm like Ryan. I don't think you were like Ryan. Man.
Yeah.
But
if Malik was in that group, he's improved now. But if Malik was his first year, if he was in that group, we may have been in there to midnight.
That's a testament to the work, man. The work, you can't skip no steps with it. So, then, Ryan Towns, y'all got something to ask?
Towns?
On that, as far as guys improving this year, they don't like me bringing it up post game, but this is the best shooting team that Coach Sampson has had. Just statistically, it stands out. Is that just the work coming through? And how satisfying is it to see those guys have that level of success and have it all pay off the way it has so far?
Towns, you know your shit, man.
A lot of those guys, some of those guys say like LJ Cryer. LJ Cryer came in a really good shooter, but he also has a great work ethic. I could say the same thing for Emmanuel Sharp. Those guys, I'll shout out their fathers, Derek Sharp, Lionel Cryer. Those guys, along with a lot of our guys, they kept their sons in the gym, no different than what I do with my two boys. But then like what Galen talked about is those reps, rep after rep, the technique. I like to call it the right repetition, right? It's not just us in there, when we with our guys, and we're working on shooting, whatever it is. It's the details that go into it, and you don't want to, waste time, right? And so, and then it's, what you do before practice, after practice, and making that time count, right? And so, and I think that's what the guys do, and now everything's just coming into fruition. But we've had a lot of guys that have came in good shooters, and now they developed into even better shooters.
Okay. Anything else from you, Galen?
Q, once I found out this was happening, I went and watched like some of our old film, and I say
I still do,
man, and I'm just like, man, my senior year at least, 6 foot, and 6'2".
Unbelievable.
Man, we was punking folks. And I'm just like, man, we had a different level of physicality, energy, belief, like
mentality.
Man, I don't know how on earth we was able to punk these folks like that. Like, no idea. But that leads me into my last question. Let me take me a little sip.
One substantial.
Here it comes.
Quannas White. This is complete. Your opinion. Feelings won't be hurt because I have my opinion. I feel like my opinion is the fact. The best team that you've had since you've been at Houston. What year was that? Regardless of accomplishments, regardless of best team. Hold on, Ryan. Put us all in the camera. Put us all in the camera, Ryan, if you can.
Okay. So you can see me rolling my eyes. Yeah.
Well. That's a difficult question, but I kind of answered it earlier.
Kind of did.
Yeah. All those teams are special, man, because all the guys that were a part of those teams are all special, in my heart, right? Mm-hmm. And so all of those teams were my favorite, man. But I answered it early, so I'm
White the politician, but
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, man. I think my senior year we can beat anybody.
I would say this: your senior year, the junior team was really good, and
Yeah, for sure.
I would say this: both the junior year, your junior year, and your senior year, both of those teams were Final Four teams. I mean, you look back at your junior year, right? And Poole
Rob,
hits
West.
hits that shot, right? That team was. I mean, we won that game. We in the Sweet 16, right? We going to I believe L.A.
California, yeah.
A&M. And then your senior year was Kentucky, right?
Yeah, yep. Tyler Hero.
Guys fall down in transition, and Tyler
Yeah.
Hero, we couldn't get back because we had two guys fall down or something. And Tyler Hero, kudos to him. He hits a huge three, right? But we were right there. And so both of those teams, man, if I can go back, I love coaching those teams, man, and they were special.
Man, I ain't gonna. I love playing for them squads, man. I ain't gonna. Hold on, Q. Last question. This is my last question. Last question. So, do you prefer, because when you got to Houston, we were the hunters, and now we're the team that, oh yeah, we playing Houston. Would you say you prefer you being the hunters or the hunted?
That's a good question, man.
Really is.
I like both, man. I gotta be honest. I like both. I loved when we were the underdog and people didn't respect you guys. I loved it, but we all knew inside of the locker room, film room, on the practice floor when it's just us practicing, how good we were. You guys were, although y'all were 6 feet. You 6'1", Corey 6 feet, Rob 6'1", whatever. You guys were the best backcourt in the country, in my eyes, right? And again, the record speaks for itself. And so, but I love, in a lot of ways, the disrespect, right? The lack of respect that we got, and then you guys went proved everyone wrong. I look back at, I won't call it the school out, but yesterday before, how we watched film the night before.
Absolutely.
I had Galen Robinson, and you can, ask all the players. We were showing clips of you guarding an individual for multiple dribbles. He tried everything he possibly could. And
I know you're talking about. I already know you're talking about.
But out of respect for him, I'm not going to call his name out, but you did an absolute outstanding job of defending him. And so I showed those guys that clip for a reason, right? Because that's the standard, right? You wasn't going to allow that guy to score on you one-on-one, right? And so, but yeah, man, it's I got lost.
Yeah. It's I remember one thing you used to always say, Q, was like, you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna show you.
You damn right.
That's what you said. He gonna show you.
Damn right. But
yes, sir.
The hunter and the
underdogs,
hunter,
man.
I like the underdog, but I also like being where we're ranked. The last couple of years we've been number one in the country. I believe you guys set the table, and I believe the guys sustaining it, and also Coach Sampson deserves that. Right.
Absolutely.
So being the hunted, I love that too, because I think he's that damn good, and I believe in our staff, and I think our staff is that damn good.
Absolutely.
Our players, obviously. So.
Remember, Q, also at that 6 a.m. meeting, there was one thing that you said I'll never forget. So you know why I'm here? I ain't even gonna say your exact words because I don't know what.
Say it.
I'm here to help that motherfucker win the championship. That's why I'm here, and that's what we gonna do. I was like, okay, say less. I'm on board.
Well, it's real now, huh?
Man, I was like, set the tone early. I'm like, yeah, this is. Remember, I called my grassroots coach. I'm like, hey, man, Coach Q, he borderline crazy. Man. I'm like, Q laying down the law immediately, man. Nah, for real. Like, yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
No, man, I appreciate that, man. Your mentality, like, I don't know if you know it or not, but it's infectious, and it definitely rubs off on us, and it's like I feel like that's kind of why I have a delusional belief in myself right now. Like, it's just the fact that I feel like there isn't an obstacle that I can't overcome because of the coaches that we had, you, Kellen, obviously Coach Sam, KC, Coach Brooks, Kale, like, y'all really breathe into us that, like, no surrender at any cost. And it's like, I don't know why that's why I am today. Maybe I've been Samsonized, but it's just like, man, I truly believe there's no obstacle I can't conquer. And I gotta credit y'all for that.
Thank you, Galen.
Absolutely, brother.
Absolutely. And thank you for allowing myself and all of us to coach you, man. I mean that. Love you, brother.
Absolutely, love you too, man. Wow. My heart is full, man. We got Q to smile. Q mugged me on me. We got Q to laugh a couple of times. This is a great day. Everybody watching this need to go buy a lottery ticket right now. This is rare right here, man. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Quannas. We appreciate it. You've been great.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all
having
me.
All right, you.
Coach Quannas White. Appreciate that. Pretty good.
Yeah, that was elite.
You're getting the hang of this.
No, Ryan, I don't even think you, like, when Q, it was like immediate, like tomorrow in my office. I'm like, I'm damn near scared. I'm like, shit, you gonna try to
what'd
fight
I do?
Bust me up, yeah.
What'd I do? Man, Q, like when I say set the tone from day one on what he was trying to do, like, set the tone from day one, man.
When the beautiful thing about it is, in a lot of people who might be watching right now might not have been around for that, but that was crazy talk back then. You had to be insane to think U of H was going to be that.
You know what's funny is, like, I feel like it was probably everybody that wasn't in that locker room, because our coaches, they do a great job of putting tasks in front of you that may seem impossible, and then you knock them down. So it's like that mentality, it carries over, it permeates throughout the entire team. And it's like, I just feel like they did a good job of just instilling that in us. Granted, we were already hungry kids, but it was, we didn't think there was anything that we couldn't do or accomplish at this point.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, coming from where this program was to
200 people at Hoffines.
Huh?
200 people at Hoffines.
Yeah, I mean, to what you walked into at that old Hoffines falling apart, and in a program who's I mean, honestly, we were at a point where a lot of times we're just hoping to get to 500. Making the NIT was accomplishment, or the CBI or whatever. That was kind of a big deal. To think about getting into the tournament was like the pinnacle, and advancing. It's like, hold on, how you're able to advance in the tournament? How does that happen? That was so far off. But then all of a sudden you guys show up, and I don't want to say made it look easy, but all of a sudden there really was no limit to what could be accomplished. And I remember every single year after we had guys graduate, every single year on our message board, everybody said, well, we might take a step back next year, but, and then it keeps happening year after year. Okay, this year ended, it was good. We might take a step, we're losing Galen. We're going to take a step back, and then we just keep going.
Coach Sepp said that too. That's crazy. He was like, every year I'm always having to ask, we're losing Damian Dotson. How are you going to score? We're losing Rob Ray. How are you going to score? We're losing Corey Davis using game using, like, how are you going to score? It's like, we'll figure that out. But it's like, one thing that I'd say that our coaches did a good job of, like, especially Q's first year, was they used, like, the fear of failure to their advantage because they know how bad we wanted to succeed, how bad we wanted to win, and let alone like they knew the circumstances that we all came from and how we wanted to achieve. And they just did a great job of manipulating reality. Like they just made the tournament seem like it was so hard to achieve, which made us work harder. And then when we got there, it was just like, damn. Not that it was easy, but it's like shit.
Right.
It was kind of that type of mentality. So it's like I guess that kind of flows into practice being harder than games, that mindset. But they did a good job of establishing that foundation and making us kind of overachieve with work. And it's like we really felt that if we didn't work, there was a sense of guilt that came with that, and it was just like, you know what, like you feeling kind of bad because you didn't put numbers. Like, I don't deserve success. So it was like that kind of put everybody in the mindset to want to work and to put in the reps, extra reps, whatever it took to get there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm long-winded as shit. Damn.
Yeah, you are. Well, shit, now I'm motivated. TI7701. I'm going to tell you, Gun, you're getting good at this. You
Appreciate that, man.
You have a talent that you didn't have when we started. You just did not fucking have it. I'm talking 2.5 years ago when we started doing NIL stuff. But you're turning it on, and you have an ability to get people to open up. And that's why we asked you to come here tonight, because Brad and I would have done a pretty dull interview with Quannas. He'd have been good. We'd have sucked. But you took it to another level, and I appreciate that. So thank you for your help. And, that's why they call you the Godfather. You just make every situation better. I screwed up. I did not mention Bryce Jackson. That was on me. I should have. I mentioned Flemings and Harwell. Totally goofed and did not mention Bryce Jackson.
Overall, it's a pretty damn good motivating night. I was really impressed. Well, I mean, I'm always impressed by Quannas. I was really impressed hearing what the defense is going to look like going forward. Because just like,
football.
Yeah, for football.
You're talking Austin Armstrong, yeah.
And it's no different than basketball because it all starts with defense. And I think that carries the mentality of the team overall, even offensively, because they set the tone, and that's got to be the highest level, I think, of your team, no matter what. And it just feels like we got the right people in the right spots across the board now. So it's easy to get real excited about everything that we got going on.
Good old defense, man. It's
Star Pizza.
Tell all this time.
And you know what the most beautiful thing about defense is that I was told by my high school basketball coaches? You don't have to be talented to play defense. You just got to have balls.
At all. It's literally just a personal pride thing, and it kind of amazes me that even at the professional level, how guys, like, maybe because I'm small, it was like how guys don't take it personal when you score. It's like, you thought you could try me, bro? Like, I just feel like it's more so one of those things that, like, people play defense because it's part of you have to. Like, it's not like football where you play either whichever side of the ball, but it's like it's kind of one of those things you got to do in basketball. So that's how people do it. And it's just like, bro,
it's like do people play? Do people play 1-on-1 anymore?
I mean, I do, but I mean, it's
because I know that's all we did. We always played against each other, so we're always playing 1-on-1. And we're getting fights every day.
Like, yeah, you trying to
because
get it, and it gets
you don't ever want to give up points.
Man, nowadays, like I feel like an old dude talking about back in my day, even though I'm in my day. But it's just like dudes nowadays are so friendly, so buddy. It's like why are you talking to this? Like he's like, it's no. I feel like the sense of competitiveness is like, it's not what it should be. And I don't know if I probably sound old as shit. Like these young
No,
fellas, they don't even, that's
social
sad.
media changed that, and money changed that,
Man, boys are
and
soft. Boys are
soft as
soft,
shit.
man. Softer
Yeah.
than puppy shit in the rain.
Always wanting to go trade jerseys and take pictures with each other. Nah, just fight. Just fight. So, Cougar in says there's a
That's the way
bromance
it's going to
going.
be. That's what it's going to be from now on.
Oh, we're all best friends. Yeah.
No, you're going to be looking back and just realizing how soft everybody was, and you know you don't have it. You don't have it as bad as I got it when I think about back in the old days when guys were literally
Oh, God, here we
fighting
go.
twice a week in the NBA.
Yeah.
Boys are soft.
They were also flying on Southwest. They're not doing that anymore.
Oh yeah, firing up heaters on the plane.
Yeah.
That
That's
just reminded
a little
me of
different.
funny story. Man. Remember my freshman year? Let me tell this story. How many people we got watching, Ryan?
We're about 650. Good
650.
number.
So my
I don't know why
freshman
that
year,
matters.
It was just anyway. My freshman year was myself and Ronnie Johnson. We were the 2 point guards, right? Granted, Ronnie was a transfer from Purdue. He started at Purdue for 2 years and transferred, and then I was the freshman. And I forget why we had this meeting. Maybe it was film. He was like, Ronnie, Coach Samp was like, Ronnie, what type of car do you drive? And then Ronnie was like, Cadillac. He was like, Galen, what type of car do you drive? I said, a Lexus. He's like, that's the problem. Our point guards, they drive a Cadillac and a Lexus. I don't recruit kids with 2-car garages, son. You guys are soft. I'm like, damn, I'm soft because I'm blessed. Like, shit. I was like, man, that was some funny. Coach Sam had a lot of funny moments, man. Coach Sam is funny as hell. And I remember, no lie, I remember going home that day like, damn, why do I drive a Lexus? I just had a 99 Honda, but I could have been tough. Oh, man. Funny, for sure.
Okay. Brad, you got anything else? We need to talk Star Pizza before we go. Star Pizza, there's a huge storm coming. It's going to be like 4 feet of snow. Get you some Star Pizza. Stock up. And,
I mean, if we're all gonna die, go out with Star Pizza.
there you
the
go.
way it
I'm
is.
not going to die, but other people could.
I'm in Alabama.
Don't treat me like a tauntaun on Hoth and cut me open and climb in me to stay warm. Man, y'all don't know movies, man.
That got really weird.
That's coming from Ryan.
Yeah,
Sit
no
and stay
kidding.
warm.
Alexis equals soft, 100%.
100%.
Fancy Toyota.
Fun, son.
Towns with the Star Wars reference. Man, it got weird.
Well, Ryan don't know any pop culture from any era other than wrestling.
Well, I know the Star Wars wrestling reference, but
Mullets.
that's because it's 40 years old. Yeah, I know mullets. I definitely know mullets. Yeah. So thank y'all so much for being here. We appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. We hadn't done one of these in about 6 weeks because of the semester and all, but we're back. We'll be every week until the Super Bowl. We won't do it that night. But we're back. We're going to keep doing this until Connor Wegman comes on, which probably a couple weeks away. Yeah. All the towns. 50 towns.
Son, we can't win with guys like Ryan.
No.
Too soft.
We'll be at practice tomorrow. They just said we're coming tomorrow. No news on the Utah game yet. You have to expect something's going to change with that probably to Wednesday. but who knows? But it would be shocking to see that game played Tuesday night. But we'll be at practice tomorrow. I'm certain we're going to get an update tomorrow sometime during the day. And subscribe and smash the whatever that is.
Thumbs up.
And the notifications bell. And still waiting for that 5-star work ethic merch. This, he says, people are asking, they're begging for it. They're begging you to let them put money in your pocket. It's a wealth transfer. That's all this is. Let them give you money.
You guys won't be let down. But I'm waiting on the current order to come.
Wait. Was that news?
Oh yeah. I mean the current order is probably going to ship either tomorrow or the following day. So it's like I'm waiting on that before anything else is done. You know, I don't want to make people think I forgot about them. So it's like I'm gonna handle that first, and then we can proceed with whatever lies ahead. Shout out to you, Big Jack. I like your energy.
Begging to give you money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't 100% understand this one, but Galen, other than Coach Kelvin Sampson, who would you take to win a game? I don't know if he's asking about coaches, players.
Yeah. Who would I take?
Go your own way.
Shit, I don't know. Who would I take to win a game? I feel like all of our coaches are able to get us a win. You know, like the film sessions that we have, they're very detailed, very specific. We have a very
what coach he says.
specific.
I think he's talking about what head coach nationally would you take?
Nationally.
I would take Dana Holgerson.
Ryan, you gotta let that go. I'd say Mick Cronin. I fuck with Mick.
He's not having a good week.
Huh?
He's not having a good week.
Yeah, but
maybe 8 or 9 years ago.
you know, his Cincinnati teams. He's what 5'4", 5'5", maybe 5'6", and he wears his shoes that have
His lifts. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Look like a thumb.
for a white man of his stature to coach like some brothers, like some dudes, and get them in line. Like I remember talking to Jacob Evans about that. Like he was like, bro, like that is different. And it's just like I was always impressed. I can look back on it and appreciate it more, but how hard his teams played and the kind of tenacity that they played with. And believe it or not, is like whenever we were, we were on the rise and whatnot, Coach Sampson was like, I want to get my teams to play this hard, like, and use those Mick Cronin teams as an example. So it's like, I've always had tremendous respect for him as a coach, even more so now because I know what may go into coaching. But yeah, I probably roll with Mick for sure.
Of all the teams coaches in that conference, I respect him way more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought he got as much out of those guys as he possibly could.
They was
I
nasty, too.
think he's leaving UCLA. He's going to go and take the Ohio State job this offseason. He's going back to those Ohio roots.
The Cali life ain't for him. He ain't that cool.
Well, it's that travel. I don't think any coach wants to be a part of going across the country a half dozen times a year.
That possibly, but I mean that's a real convenient excuse. I mean, because
right. Well, he is going to get run out of town in a year or so.
Well, the thing is because he has to recruit West Coast kids, and he
ain't a West
Soft
Coast
as shit.
You can't mold Sharman.
Dude, man.
You can't mold that soft stuff.
Yeah, that ain't him. He's blue collar. Like I feel like him and Coach Sam in a way are cut from the same type of cloth. Those type of guys, they believe in the work and they believe in outworking whoever is in front of you. So it's like, yeah, he ain't a West Coast type guy. Yeah, he belongs. Yeah, he needs to take his ass back to where. Yeah, for sure. He ain't that.
Where he does not need to go is a Big 12 school.
Absolutely.
He needs to go to the Big 10 or the SEC. What are you doing, Towns?
That's Mick Cronin. Looks like a thumb. His head and his neck are the
Fucking
same
idiot.
size, and he's a little fella.
Yeah, no, but hey, if you that dude and you got dudes at 6'10", 260, you got the fear of God in them. Yeah, bro, you one of them ones. You're one of those guys. Yeah. I used to always be like, damn, these Cincinnati dudes, they mean as hell. Like, they didn't know that was coaching.
Yeah.
Well, you should have seen what they had before too. That was a different level.
What do you mean?
Those old huggy teams.
No,
Those dudes were just violent.
They were
good.
they were what Cronin's guys were, but even more talented, I think.
But shit,
Oh, yeah.
Huggy like 6'5". It's easy to get in line when your coach is bigger than you. It's like, brother,
Well, I mean,
he's smaller than my mama.
I know he is me.
But I'm saying, like, with Mick Cronin, it's like, my mom's taller than you, bro. Like, how can that... Oh, man.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all so much. This was fun. First one of these of the year. Big crowd. Appreciate it. GoCoogs.com all week. We'll be at practice tomorrow. We will not be at the game Tuesday, most likely. And we'll be eating Star Pizza the whole time. Galen, thank you so much, bro. We appreciate it. Brad, way to ask those 0 questions to Quannas. That was elite.
I did.
But you know where to just stay out of the way. That's
Hey, you
smart.
know what? This job is all about facilitating for Galen. I set him up to let him run.
But no, I ain't gonna lie. Towns, you asked something that, like, I wanted to ask, and I wrote it down, but I feel like it was worded poorly.
We're right here.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, Towns,
We know what's up,
you know
dude.
what I'm saying? Absolutely.
I'm going to get to that level one day. Maybe. I know.
You just keep doing what you do.
You keep doing what you do, brother. Yeah.
I'm a little white guy. All right. Later, guys. Thank you so much.